Title: I caught my fiancée in our apartment with another guy a week before the wedding. I don't even know how to process this. Throwaway account because my main has friends and family on it and I'm not ready for this to blow up in real life. This is going to be long. I don't even know how to condense this into something neat, and I feel like my brain is still trying to reboot. I guess I just need to get it all out somewhere before I implode. Some context before the actual bomb dropped. I, 29M, have been with Emily, 27F, for almost 5 years. We met through mutual friends at a bar, not even supposed to be there that night, but my buddy dragged me out after I'd been sulking about a breakup. Emily was standing at the end of the table with a vodka cranberry, telling the worst joke I'd ever heard about a penguin and a snowblower, and she was laughing so hard she couldn't even finish the punchline. I know people throw around love at first sight like it's a cliché, but I swear it was like my brain went, yep. This one. We moved in together after a year and a half, got engaged last summer. The proposal was nothing over the top, just the two of us at this lakeside cabin we rent every year, with our dog trying to eat the ring box. She said yes while simultaneously prying slobber-covered velvet from Baxter's mouth. We set the wedding date for next Saturday. Everything felt solid. Like, we weren't perfect, who is? But we talked about everything, or at least I thought we did. We fought about stupid things sometimes, like how she loads the dishwasher. Apparently, tetrasang is a verb in her vocabulary, but there was never anything big. The lead up. The past few months were a blur of wedding planning chaos, vendor emails, cake tastings, seating charts. Emily handled most of it because I'm apparently too chill about everything, which she says drives her nuts. Honestly, I figured she liked having control over the details. This week was supposed to be our calm before the storm period. Families flying in, last fittings, a couple's massage booked for Wednesday. I had taken Friday off to get my tux and tie sorted, then just coast into the big day. Yesterday, Friday morning, Emily said she was going to take a half day from work to run errands for the wedding, pick up her dress, grab some decor from her friend's place. I didn't think anything of it. She kissed me on the cheek before leaving for work, wearing that oversized cardigan she loves, smelling faintly like the vanilla body spray she's obsessed with. The moment everything cracked. I work from home most days. Around 1:30 p.m., my boss called to let me know our meeting got pushed back and I suddenly had a chunk of free time. I realized my laptop charger was in my car from the night before, so I grabbed my keys and went downstairs. Our apartment complex has one of those L-shaped layouts, so you have to walk past the living room window to get to the front door. As I was walking up the path, I noticed our blinds were halfway open, unusual, because Emily is super picky about closing them when we're not around. That's when I saw it. Emily. On the couch. With some guy I'd never seen before. And they weren't just sitting there. They were tangled. His hands were in her hair, hers were under his shirt, and it was so obviously intimate that my brain just froze. I stood there, maybe 3 seconds, maybe 30, I don't even know. Then she looked up. Our eyes met through the window. Her face went from shock to guilt? Panic? I can't even describe it, but it was like watching someone get caught stealing oxygen. The guy looked over his shoulder at me. Didn't even have the decency to look ashamed. I didn't storm in. I didn't yell. I just turned around and walked back to my car. My hands were shaking so bad I nearly dropped my keys. I drove to a grocery store parking lot a few blocks away and sat there for 20 minutes, staring at nothing, trying to understand what the hell just happened. The confrontation. Eventually I went back. Not because I had some grand plan, I just couldn't stand sitting in that car anymore. When I walked in, Emily was alone. Hair messy, cardigan gone, eyes red. She opened her mouth like she wanted to speak, but I held up my hand. Me, who was that? Her, it's not what you think. Me, really? Because it looked exactly like what I think. Her, please, can we just? Me, who? Was that? She finally said his name, Tyler. Apparently, they worked together. According to her, they'd been talking for a while. She swore it wasn't serious and that she'd made a mistake. A mistake. I asked her if she slept with him before. Silence. Then, once. A few weeks ago. That was the moment I felt something in my chest just switch off. Like I was standing in the same room but also 100 miles away. The part that messes me up the most. I didn't yell. I didn't cry. I just said, "You need to leave for a while." She begged me not to blow up our lives over this, saying it was stress from the wedding, that she was scared of settling down forever, that she still loves me. But here's the thing, I don't even know who she is right now. The girl who laughed so hard at her own bad penguin joke wouldn't do this to me. Or maybe she would, and I just never saw it coming. She packed a bag and went to her sister's. I've been sitting here in the apartment all night, staring at the wedding invitation stacked neatly on the counter. Her dress is still in the garment bag in our closet. Our dog keeps wandering from room to room like he's looking for her. I don't know what the hell I'm supposed to do next. Do I call the guests? Cancel the venue? Demand answers I'm not even sure I want to hear? All I know is that in the span of 5 minutes, my entire life went from planning vows to wondering how I missed all the red flags. TLDR, found my fiancée making out with another guy in our apartment a week before the wedding. She admitted they've slept together before. She's at her sister's now, and I'm sitting here trying to figure out if the last 5 years were a complete lie. Edit/update coming soon when my brain stops short-circuiting. Update 1, telling people, and finding out the kind of truth you wish you could unknow. So, yeah. Didn't really sleep much after my original post. Not even sure sleep is the right word, more like I stared at the ceiling in a half-conscious fog while my brain replayed the living room scene on a loop, like some twisted home security footage I never asked for. By morning, the practical side of my brain kicked in. I had to start telling people. Because in case anyone's wondering, there's no easy way to call off a wedding without a lot of awkward explaining. Step 1, my family. I called my mom first. I didn't want to, but she's the kind of person who will smell emotional smoke before the fire even gets to her, and if she found out from anyone else, I'd never hear the end of it. Me, hey, Mom, so, there's not going to be a wedding next week. Her, what happened? Me, Emily was with someone else. Her, after a pause, do you want me to come over? I said no, partly because I didn't want to see the pity in her eyes, and partly because I knew she'd show up with casseroles and turn my apartment into a funeral reception. She handled it surprisingly calmly, probably because she was in shock mode. But then she asked the question that almost broke me. Do you still love her? I had no answer. Not because I didn't know, but because I did, and I hated it. Step 2, her family. I debated calling her parents myself but decided it was her responsibility. She made this mess, she can tell her own mom why the $4,000 floral arrangement is about to become compost. Apparently she did call them, because a couple hours later I got a text from her dad, "I'm sorry for what she's done. You deserved better." I've always liked her dad. I didn't realize how much I needed to hear that until it popped up on my phone. Step 3, the bridal party. This was brutal. The group chat had been non-stop for weeks, memes, logistics, endless debates about ties versus bow ties. So when I dropped in with, "Hey everyone, wedding's off. Emily cheated." The silence that followed was almost deafening. Then the messages started. Groomsman number 1, dude. I'm so sorry. Bridesmaid number 3, wait what? Groomsman number 2, I'll bring beer. The beer guy is my best man, and honestly? MVP. The thing I wasn't expecting. By mid-afternoon, I'd told the core people who needed to know. I figured I'd spend the rest of the day doom-scrolling. Instead, my phone buzzed with a message from a number I didn't recognize. Unknown, hey, this is Anna. I don't know how to say this but I think I need to tell you something about Emily. I almost ignored it, my emotional inbox was already overflowing, but something made me reply. Me, what is it? Anna, Tyler's my boyfriend. Or, was. I found out about him and Emily a couple days ago. My hands went cold. We ended up talking on the phone for almost an hour. Turns out, Anna and Tyler have been together for 2 years. 2 years. Not casual, not just talking. She described vacations, meeting his parents, even a trip they were planning for the holidays. When she confronted Tyler earlier this week, he apparently confessed to hooking up with a coworker, but swore it was just physical. Yeah, okay. Anna told me she recognized Emily from Tyler's Instagram, work event photo, did some stalking, and pieced together enough to figure out I was the fiancé. She said she didn't want me walking into the wedding blind. I thanked her. Genuinely. I think we were both sitting on our respective couches, holding our phones like lifelines, trying to figure out how 2 people we trusted managed to detonate both of our lives in one go. The kicker. Anna also said something that's been rattling in my skull ever since. I don't think you know everything. Tyler mentioned they've been involved way longer than she told you. According to her, it wasn't a few weeks ago that they first slept together. It was last fall. Right around the time Emily told me she was stressed and needed more girls' nights. I remember that phase. I thought it was healthy, she'd go out with her friends, I'd have a solo Netflix night. Turns out she was probably with Tyler. That night. Emily texted me around 9 p.m. asking if we could talk. Against my better judgment, I said yes. I don't know why, maybe I wanted her to at least see the wreckage she caused. She showed up looking like hell. Hair pulled back, no makeup, eyes swollen. She sat on the far end of the couch like she was afraid to get too close. I know I hurt you. I can't take it back but. Me, how long? What? Me, how long have you been sleeping with him? She hesitated. That was all the answer I needed. Me, Anna told me it's been since last fall. She doesn't know what she's talking about. Me, then tell me she's lying. Silent. The silence was so loud it felt like my ears were ringing. I told her I didn't want to hear excuses. She started crying, saying she didn't mean to fall for him and that it was complicated. Complicated? There's nothing complicated about not betraying the person you promised to marry. I asked her to leave again. She did, this time without trying to hug me. Where I'm at now. The venue deposit is gone. The catering deposit is gone. The photographer was kind enough to refund half. My inbox is a minefield of "so sorry to hear this" emails from vendors who are about to rebook my Saturday with some other happy couple. I keep catching myself thinking about the life we almost had. Waking up next to her in that little cabin, kids running around someday, Baxter getting too old to chase squirrels. Now it's just me, an empty apartment, and the sound of my upstairs neighbor practicing trombone at the worst possible moments. I know people will say I dodged a bullet, and yeah, logically, I get that. But emotionally? It feels like I was shot anyway. Anna and I have kept talking, weirdly enough. I think we're both clinging to someone who gets it without needing the whole backstory. She told me she's breaking up with Tyler officially tomorrow. I said I was proud of her, which felt strange, like we're in some survivor's alliance from the island of betrayal. I haven't decided if I'll ever respond to Emily again. Part of me wants to send her a long message outlining every way she wrecked me. Another part just wants to disappear from her radar entirely. If you've ever been in this position, you know, the hardest part isn't losing the relationship. It's realizing the person you loved was capable of looking you in the eye, promising forever, and meaning none of it. TLDR for the update, told our families and bridal party the wedding's off. Got a call from the other guy's girlfriend, Anna, who revealed Emily has been cheating for much longer than she admitted. Emily confirmed it with her silence. Everything's cancelled. I'm trying to remember how to be a person again. Next update will cover what happened when Tyler himself decided to clear the air, and the absolutely insane thing I found in Emily's closet that changed how I see all of this. Update 2, final, when the other guy shows up and you find something you wish you hadn't. I honestly thought the last update would be the peak of this nightmare. I was wrong. Apparently there was still room on this emotional roller coaster for a couple more drops. The Tyler situation. It was 2 days after my talk with Emily. I'd just gotten back from walking Baxter when there was a knock on my door. I opened it without thinking. I was expecting a package. It was Tyler. In case anyone's wondering, yes, he looked exactly like the type of guy you don't want to find with your fiancée: perfect stubble, smug expression, and an unearned sense of confidence. Tyler, can we talk? Me, no. Tyler, look, man, I think there's been some miscommunication. I actually laughed. Couldn't help it. Me, you've been sleeping with my fiancée for almost a year. Which part of that is the miscommunication? He rolled his eyes like I was the unreasonable one here. Said he and Emily had a connection that just happened, and that he thought I deserved to hear it from him rather than from gossip. I told him to get off my doorstep before I let Baxter out. Baxter is a 70-pound lab mix who once tried to fight a lawnmower. Tyler left. The closet discovery. That night, I was in the bedroom trying to box up some of Emily's things. I figured the sooner I got her stuff out, the better. Most of it was easy: clothes, books, random decor she'd bought from Target. Then I opened the top shelf of the closet. There was a small shoe box pushed way to the back. Inside was... I don't even know how to describe it without sounding like I'm making this up. Photos. Dozens of them. Mostly of me and Emily, vacations, holidays, our first apartment. But mixed in were pictures I'd never seen: Emily with Tyler. At bars. At the beach. One of them kissing in what looked like our apartment, from months ago. And tucked under the stack was a handwritten letter in Emily's handwriting. It started with, "Ty, I don't know how much longer I can keep pretending with him." I didn't read the rest. I shoved it all back in the box, taped it shut, and put it by the door. That was the moment I realized, this wasn't just a fling or cold feet. She'd been halfway out the door for months, maybe longer. Conversations I didn't want to have. I called Anna. I told her about the photos and the letter. She went quiet for a long time, then said, "So, they were planning something." That idea made me nauseous. Were they waiting until after the wedding to blow it up? Was I just plan B until she decided Tyler was safe to commit to? I'll never get those answers, and maybe that's a mercy. Anna and I joked grimly that maybe we should send them both an invoice for emotional damages. Humor's the only thing keeping me from screaming at this point. The final message. The next day, Emily texted, "Can we meet? I owe you the truth." Against my better judgment, again, I said yes. We met at a coffee shop near her sister's place. She looked smaller. Not physically, but like someone had deflated the version of her I knew. She started crying before she even sat down. "Emily, I don't expect you to forgive me. But I want you to know I didn't plan for this to happen." Me, you didn't plan to cheat for almost a year? Emily, it wasn't like that. I thought it would just be a fling. Then I got scared I was marrying you for the wrong reasons. But I didn't want to hurt you. I told her she didn't spare me anything, she just delayed the hurt until it was big enough to crush me. She said Tyler wasn't who she thought he was, and that he'd been pressuring her to leave me. I said, "That's between you and him now." She tried to give me back the engagement ring. I told her to pawn it. I didn't want anything from her. Aftermath. It's been a week since that meeting. The apartment feels lighter without her stuff in it, though I still catch myself reaching for my phone to text her when something funny happens. Muscle memory's a cruel thing. The wedding day came and went. Instead of standing at an altar, I went hiking with Baxter. No suit, no speeches, just me, the dog, and a thermos of coffee on a cliffside watching the sunrise. I thought I'd feel bitter watching the date pass, but honestly, I felt free. Hurting, yeah, but free. Anna texted me that day, too. She said she spent the morning with her sister baking bread for the first time, and that it was messy but good. That feels like the perfect metaphor for whatever comes next. What I've learned. You can love someone deeply and still have to walk away. Betrayal doesn't always come with warning signs, sometimes it's hidden in smiles and shared grocery lists. A good dog will sit with you through anything. I'm not going to pretend I'm over it. I still wake up some mornings expecting to smell her vanilla body spray. But I'm also not in the same fog I was that first day. I can see the edges of myself again. And that's something. TLDR for the final update, Tyler showed up at my door to clear the air. I found a box in Emily's closet with photos and a letter proving their relationship was deeper and longer than she admitted. Emily confessed she was scared she was marrying me for the wrong reasons. The wedding date passed, I spent it hiking with my dog. I'm not okay yet, but I will be.